Hello and welcome to the Renegade Gamers channel. I am the Renegade Gamer and we're playing Kingdom Hearts 3. This is the final episode of Kingdom Hearts 3 that I will be doing. Now, this here is the secret boss. I have not looked at him. I don't know what the hell has got going on for him. I don't know nothing, okay? I just know this is him. However, before we do that, I went through and found every single one of these throughout the worlds and got all 13 of the, is it in here? No, I don't even know where they are. Story, maybe? Glossary? Keyblade. Oh, here we go. So I found every single one of the secret reports. So I'm going to read these all for you, and then once I am done, we will take a shot at the secret boss. Now, whether I win or lose, this is the only shot I'm taking at him. I will give it my all. I will see what I can do. But this should hopefully shed some light upon some of the missing key things I mentioned in the story. So, without further ado, the Secret Report 1. Recollections. Am I alive? I woke in a cell alone until the researchers came with their tests and their prodding to uncover my identity. I had no answer to offer them. 4 friends and a key. That is the sum total of my memory. I could not even recall my name. I was simply called X there. My only solace was the time I spent with the 2 boys who would visit from time to time. One day, a man came to take me from prison. I could not see him in the darkness, save that he wore an eye patch. Even now, years on, I feel no closer to understanding who or what I am. Okay, so from what I'm getting here, this has to be from Union Cross. 4 friends and a key. So maybe those are the 4 people at the end of the secret epilogue. The 2 boys, I'm guessing, is Syax and Axel, so this has to be the girl that's being talked about. And then Zigbar coming in it. Anyway, may my heart be my guiding key. Written by unknown. Alright. Mark of Mastery Journal. Some days have passed since I set off on my journey to prepare for the Mark of Mastery examination. Eriquis had asked to leave to undertake the same pilgrimage. But apparently I am the first to tour the worlds written of in the old fairy tales. Until a few short years ago, I've known only my world, a speck of land surrounded by sea. But how I dreamed of, yearned for the world beyond, and granted guidance from the future, I left that nest behind. As I treaded the path to my master's side, I came in contact with darkness in many forms. I knew even then, as by instinct, terrifying as the power was, it could be harnessed, mastered. Eriquis is a blue blood, descended from by the very first masters in the age of fairy tales. But I did not come this far to indulge in adoration. I will be his peer, his equal, and to do that I must learn to wield the power born from both darkness and light in proper balance from Xehanort. Notes on Subject X, Expert 1. Subject was found in the central square shortly after dawn. Female, approximately 15 years old. After 7 days' observation, she spoke her first words, but she could not provide a name. Subject exhibits signs of profound amnesia and displays concern about which world she's in. This is. Her words suggest that she departed her home world with others, though she cannot recall the names of her erstwhile companions. All efforts to explore those memories have been yet met with a rejection response. After initial experiments on me, Ansem the Wise ceased his research into the heart. His hands stayed by some fear I cannot fathom. Yet this new subject is, like me, devoid of memories. She's the perfect sample upon which to continue my master's work. She, too, could benefit from it. By transversing the heart, we will have a direct path into memory. I myself have begun to reclaim the lost past thanks to these very experimentations. Who is she? Whence has she came? Those are the questions no answers, no sciences can ignore. Where she muttered, "May your heart be your guiding key," from Xehanort. Okay, so that's obviously when he was possessing Terra, and basically was Terranort, with no memories. Okay, so we're finding a little bit more out here. Alright, notes on subject X. Expert 2. I'm going to guess this is by Xehanort again? Yes, okay. Alright. Subject memories have not returned, and what conversations remain less than, and our conversations remain less than lucid. What fragments can be gleaned, invoked to a bygone world? Like one out of fairy tales. As improbable as it seems, the question may not be where she has come from, but when. If she truly has crossed through time, the prospect of probing her heart is all the more compelling. My pilot studies used a handful of subjects, but none possessed the fortitude to endure them. Ultimately, all suffered mental collapse. I knew it was a heavy blow to lose a subject as unique as she. I knew it would be a heavy blow to lose such a subject as unique as she. Upon discovering the tests I was conducting, my master demanded I cease my work immediately, and destroyed what research I had compiled. Worse still, he ordered the release of my remaining subjects. She is gone. Where is Subject X now? Has wise Master Ansem hidden her away? Whatever the case, I will not be deterred. I will take her place as the first subject in the grand experiment to come. Xehanort. Okay. So Xehanort was experimenting on it. And this is from Psyx, okay. Remember Oz. Excerpt 1. That castle is a wonderland to us children. Within its walls, Ansem the Wise conducted his research, and the fruits of it allowed everyone outside to live in peace and happiness. That alone was enough to stroke our interests, though not all the rumors that escaped its walls were so benevolent. By night, the muffled sounds of human wails emerged. There was talk of dangerous human experimentation. Lee and I could not help but hatch a plan to steal inside and state our curiosity. The two who stood guard at the gates were researchers themselves, though you wouldn't think to see it, massive and barrel-chested as they were. And slipping past that duo was only the first hurdle. It proved one not easily cleared. We were found and tossed out on our ears time and time again. On the day we finally secured our entry, we descended the long spiral stair at the heart of the castle to find a dark space below it, lined with cages. There wasn't enough light to see if they were inhabited, and we were in no position to call out to any occupants within. Yet we could feel it, a definite presence. There in the black. Terror washed over us, and we immediately regret coming. But just as we turned to flee, we heard the faintest of voices. The urge to run was nay overpowering, but someone or something beckoned us on. There, famed by a tenderest silver of light, we found her. Okay, Psyx again. Alright, remember Oz except 2. Or except 2. It was too dim to make out her features. We spoke to her in our hushed whispers. Who was she? Why was she imprisoned here? She had no answers for us, had no memories at all. She was an enigma, but I knew I wanted to help her. And so we continued our infiltrations. Most of them stopped short at the castle gates, but we did manage our way inside. We spoke with her. That was all the comfort 2 children like us could offer. But Lee had other ideals. He was determined to free her. We slipped into the castle that day, knowing only that we wanted with all our hearts to save her. But we did not find her inside on that day, or the next, or any of the subsequent visits. Had she been moved? Had we simply imagined her? Lee and I knew there would be only one way to be certain. So as we stand before the castle gates today, not as trespassing children, but in order to become ansem the Wise's newest apprentices. And this is by Vexen. I have to figure out some way to say this. Let me get a drink real fast. On replica program and reanimation. Following my insure and my recompletion as a human, I did not awaken right away. Perhaps the damage was exceptionally great. Even after waking, I remained in bed, pondering my next course of action. In my work for the replica program for the organization, I produced some 20 vessels. Most of the early results were failures. Not one of them granted a number. The first success that emerged from that early lot was the Riku replica. Subsequently, Shion, number 1, was essentially indistinguishable from a natural human, though she became unstable due to the influence of others. Using those two as my foundation, I worked to construct a number of near-perfect replicas, but just as I neared completion, my efforts were cut short. I suspect Xehanort aims to use both the initial lot as well as the unused replicas from my later work. I arose today and decided to walk out to the square, my first outing in a long time. Yet my stroll was interrupted when a surprising visitor appeared with an unexpected offer. Though younger than me, he'd risen to become Xehanort's Xemnas' right hand. I accepted his terms and became a nobody once more. Easier to gain access to the old replica program that way. Whatever it takes to atone. Vexen. Okay, so most today, hip strolls and ripped that by surprising things. So it must be talking about Syax. Okay, it's Vexen again. The real organization. Xehanort seeks to gather 12 vessels, which, together with his true actual self, he considers the real organization 13. Now that he has the numbers he needs, Dimix and I are treated as reserves. Several others have served Xemnas in the old organization have followed the same course as mine, electing to abandon their newly restored humanity and rejoin the real organization as nobodies. But not Xemnas. Xemnas cannot exist in the present because there is already a Xehanort here, an old man in charge. The old man's humanity prevents his heartless and nobody. Others vanquished in the past, and his younger self from being denizens of this time. To circumvent this, Xehanort is using the prototype replicas I created in the past as containers, plucking his other selves' hearts from the time they existed. Xehanort ordered me to refine the prototypes to make them closer still to the real thing, perfecting my creations so they may house true, flesh and blood human suits, my own purposes as well. All that remains for my atonement is to devise a way to pass on as many of the vessels as I can to those who truly deserve them. Vexen. Let's see, who is this? Ienzo. Oh god. The ansem code Conceptius, Expert 1. I have poured over the data my master entrusted to Riku. Here I offer my preliminary conclusions. Within Sora's heart are 3 compartmentalized boxes, each containing the heart of another. One box holds Roxas. Another holds a second heart that has been with Sora nearly as long. The third has held his heart for much longer. So, Roxas, Shion, and Ventus. Those hearts have melded with Sora and no longer have voices of their own. Any attempt to mechanically exert them could prove as dire for Sora as what caused him to be a Heartless in the first place. Or to become a Heartless in the first place. From the first game? First, the vessel for each heart has been readied. Then, a spark of some sort is required to induce its waking. Obviously, the ideal situation is to restore each heart to his own body. But, whatever the case for the two unknown individuals, Roxas possessed no such thing. The same is true of Naminé, who we believe resides in Kyrie's heart. Still, if alternate bodies can be secured for them, all their hearts require to be awakened is that spark that people care for and who cared for them, and we who can show them the way home. Complete and perfect digitalization of the heart is impossible. We can only hope to partially reconstruct it. Though I see no way forward but to extract the hearts we so desperately need directly from within Sora. Fortunately, the data stored in Twilight Tower contains a near-perfect record of the memories of those who lived there. And for Roxas and Naminé especially, this is crucial. Anzo again. So same thing, Expert 2. As for how we contain their hearts, the only conceivable option is the replicas. If we transfer the digital memories from the Twilight Town archive, the replicas should be able to reconstruct each individual's human appearance with near-perfect results. Then their hearts need only the right spark to wake them. So, we may find a way out of Sora and Kyrie and into those newly formed or newly made bodies. The replica program was truly revolutionary, but it was incomplete at the time of the old organization's dissolution. Without Evan, how are we to further our research? We needed at least 3 replicas, one for Roxas, one for Naminé, and one for the unknown stowaway in Sora's heart. These are difficult quandaries, but as I worked through my master's data, I find myself remembering the taste of ice cream. When I was a boy, he would walk with me from time to time. He would bring me some when we took walks together. There will be time to regret for my betrayal later. For now, my focus must be on restoring Roxas and Naminé and proving my master had good intentions. Enzo, let's see, who is this? Unknown, okay. Don't know who this is then. Observation, Excerpt 1. I have seen it through. The Keyblade War unfolded exactly as written on the last lost page. Now, the Keyblade the Master entrusted to me must be bequeathed to another. 5 Union leaders have been chosen from the surviving dandelions. I will pass the Keyblade to one of them, and then continue watching the future unfold. Yet, it seems that someone has pulled the old switcheroo. One of the 5 is an imposter. Someone the Master did not choose. They represent a virus in the program he so carefully wrote. The virus has begun a strange undertaking, a reckless plot to allow the 5 to escape into another's world line. Surely such a thing can't be possible. We're talking about the same trick that allowed the dandelions to transfer to other world lines after the Keyblade War. But these children are no masters. They haven't the means unless, of course, a certain lady of magic summoned them here from the future. Knows more than I do. Okay. The whole Union leader thing was supposed to be by the books. Are these new events just another phase in the Master's grand plan? Unknown. I have no clue. Could be Zigbar. It could be the girl. It could be Marluzia. I don't know. Let me guess. Unknown again? Unknown. Okay, so maybe we'll just provide one more for thing on who this is. Even on the world line with the Keyblade, with no Keyblade world. Even on the world line, man, these words. With no Keyblade War, peace is but a dream. In the absence of us and our master, darkness arrived. One that shall surely lead the world to yet another demise. Amid the chaos, I bequeathed my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, just as the master instructed. I watched as the 5 were sent to another world, world line, at no small cost, ensuring the line of Keyblade wielders will live on. And now, Keybladeless, I must depart this land to fulfill my final task. This means casting my own body aside and soldiering on in vessel after vessel, as many as it takes. But I will continue gazing upon each passing era, one unto the next, in time, be it years or decades, centuries or millennia, I will find the five once more. Somewhere in this cynical history of bequeathings, a chosen one will appear and reenact the Keyblade War. When this scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand, that will be the time to take the stage and finish my role. The lost masters will awaken. Unknown. Okay, I'm going to guess this is Sigbar. Same thing? Yep, okay. Might be wrong though. Observation. Excerpt 3. It seems this body, this name, will be my last. The lives I have lived over the age could fill volumes. But for now, I must focus on what matters most. The Keyblade that has been successfully passed down generation to generation. And it seems the Keyblade Master devoted to the darkness may finally arise. Until now, I have watched over the course of events from a distance. Perhaps the time has come to intervene. I need only play the role of a fool, desirous of the Keyblade's power. I will don the mask of his ally in order to keep watch over my Keyblade from close by. The Gazing Eye. A Keyblade forged from the eye of the Master of Masters, or Mom. People hate it when I say that. He passed it on to me, as I have to others. And though he can see the future, all that has ever come to pass, spanning the age and body after body, life after life, my task has been to keep vigil over the eye as it passes from hand to hand. It has been a long time, longer than I can express. But now, at last, the Keyblade War has begun, and Kingdom Hearts will open, a true and complete Kingdom Hearts, born of the clash between light and darkness. I will soon be reunited with my old companions, and in that moment, my lost vigil will reach its end. He will return. Okay, so we did get a little bit more information on this girl that they kept referring to throughout the game. A little more explanation on the replica thing from both Vexen and Ienzo. Didn't really need that. I kind of figured that's what was going on. And then some more stuff about Sigbar at the end. So I wish there was a little bit more, but secret reports were not bad. Alright, so that being said, I got one last thing to do. And I am going to prepare for that. So just give me a second. Shoot, I did not mean to do that. I can't remember how to do it. No, okay, we do have a Koopa coin, that's good. Alright, for the first time in this entire playthrough, we are going to give Goofy and Donald stuff. Now, how do you do this? There we go, okay. Alright, so I got 1 ether, 3 high potions, and 2 elixirs. Alright. As you can see, I am a little bit higher level than the last time you saw me. All I was doing basically was going through and getting the secret reports in. That was enough to basically get me up that many levels. Alright, so without further ado, the secret boss of the game. One. The at least on field. There are actually 3 in the gummy ship space. I didn't figure those would be really interesting to watch, though. Oh shoot, this is a one-on-one fight. Okay! Whoa, 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 whoa! Come on, come down now. Whoa! Oh, that ain't good. That really ain't good. Oh, whoa!